You know, I've been wondering for a while now, why is Spinel so confident? He knows exactly what Liko and the others are bringing into this final battle. None of it is a surprise. He has seen their strength, their numbers, their Pokemon, and yet he never wavers. He keeps smiling like it doesn't matter. Like, no matter what they do, he's still going to win in the end. This is what has never made sense to me, because if I was the villain and I knew I was going to be attacked by 9 trainers, each with multiple Pokemon, Terrasto and or Mega Evolution, with some of them even having legendary Pokemon like Zygarde, and with backup from the 6 heroes, which include even more legendary Pokemon like Rayquaza, I wouldn't be smiling thinking there's no way I lose. So where is this confidence coming from? Well, the preview for episode 135 and the special preview for the climax of the final battle finally answers this question. The core of Laquium is not just going to sit there and wait to be purified. Instead, it will turn into something that looks like a full-on final boss straight out of an RPG. A massive, nightmarish, one-eyed monstrosity with tentacles that's actively attacking Liko and the others. This changes everything because Laquium is supposed to be a mineral, an element, an inanimate thing. And now, suddenly, it looks sentient. Like it's either some kind of organic entity, something that evolved or was forced into becoming one, or maybe something Spinnel himself turned into this through science. So suddenly, his confidence makes perfect sense. He wasn't relying on Laquium as just a resource. He was believing in what it has become. He was hiding a trump card. And as if this wasn't enough, it looks like he might take it even further. In classic final battle, final villain fashion, the maniacal madman will become one with the very thing he created, the very thing he's been obsessed with this entire time. We've seen this before in Pokemon, Lusamine and Nihilego being the first example that comes to mind. This feels like it's heading in that same direction. This means Liko and company are likely in for another classic trope. A final battle with 2 phases. First the monster, and then the monster fused with its creator. This also explains why purifying the core won't work, at least not right away. In the previews, even with all 18 Tera types, they're not erasing it, they're fighting it, throwing everything they have at it. Every Pokemon, Terrasto, Mega Evolution, the heroes themselves, everyone going all out against whatever this thing is that clearly isn't going to go down easily. But at the same time, it wouldn't make sense for the whole gather all 18 Tera types plan to end up being meaningless. So chances are that after they defeat whatever this thing will become, that's when the Tera types will finally come into play, allowing them to purify it for good. So another classic, weaken or defeat the boss first in order to make them vulnerable to whatever will ultimately eradicate them. This is easier said than done though, since Liko and company won't have just the core to worry about. We see that Pokemon like Malamar and Golbat will back it up, likely after being boosted by Laquium. So this really will turn into a full-scale, all-out final battle. Thankfully, Liko and company still have at least one more card they have yet to play. Mega Zygarde. One of the previews shows a Mega evolving it, which is significant. We already expected and got complete form Zygarde. Mega Zygarde raises the ceiling and hype even higher, especially because this is a shiny Zygarde. So we're getting shiny Mega Zygarde, which is very exciting. This adds yet another layer to a battle that already feels massive. Speaking of shiny Mega Dragons, I'm still holding on to my expectation that Rayquaza will Mega Evolve. Before moving on, it's worth mentioning that several of the 18 Pokemon that will Terrastalize are seen battling with and without Terastal, which suggests to me that they will Terrastalize, attempt to erase the core, fail, battle it instead, get defeated, which makes them lose Terastal, get a second wind, and battle without it. They might then Terrastalize again to finally banish the core. Now, one of the biggest questions I have is, what will happen to Spinel? What will happen to him after he fuses with the core and is still inevitably defeated? Lusamine did survive her fusion with Nihilego, so there's definitely a scenario where Spinel comes out of this alive, at which point he might get some redemption by seeing the error of his ways, deciding to make amends, and finally letting go of his obsession. However, considering that we already saw Lucius and Gibeon banish for good right here in Laquium, there's also a real chance that this ends with him perishing, his obsession and thirst for power consuming him completely. Either way, this feels like the ultimate escalation of his character. I also wonder what him fusing with the core will accomplish. Will the core get stronger by feeding off him? Will he be able to keep his consciousness, allowing him to become a monstrosity with purpose and intellect? Or will he be consumed and turned into a mindless, out-of-control monster? It's also possible that the core will transform into this because he fuses with it. It appears to be sentient because of him, though the core is also seen in crystal form attacking Pagogo. So maybe it's already self-aware without Spinel. Also, while I don't doubt that Spinel is capable of going so far as to sacrifice his humanity for the sake of power and overcoming those that oppose him, it's also possible that this will be an involuntary fusion. Yet another classic, the monster or creation turning against their creator. It's poetic, ironic, justice, or comeuppance. His twisted laughter here might not be out of evil, insane joy, but instead him laughing at the irony of being devoured by the very thing he brought forth into this world and obsessed over. Either way, his fate and the effects of this fusion could be very impactful, and they remain to be seen. So yeah, there's a lot to look forward to here, and it's especially exciting that the animation in these previews looks phenomenal. I was pretty disappointed with episodes 133 and 134 in terms of animation and choreography, especially considering they took a 2-week break and that these 2 episodes are very much still part of the final battle. They should have looked and played out much better. Thankfully, it seems that they saved the best for last. They brought their A game to the final 1 or 2 episodes, which is great and the way it should be. Though of course, it would have been better if such quality was present across all 3 or 4 episodes, given that this is the finale of not just an arc, but also of an entire era. It's also exciting that this is shaping up to be exactly what it needed and I expected it to be. An Avengers level final battle. Multiple characters, multiple Pokemon, all fighting side by side. Now, with an actual final boss to bring it all together, not just the Spinel and Umbreon, which would be a bit anticlimactic, but something that genuinely feels like a world-ending threat. Something that raises the stakes and elevates everything. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to episode 135 and episode 136 if this final battle does encompass 4 episodes. There's a lot to be thrilled about, especially because they likely have a few more surprises in store for us. Of course, we won't know for sure what will happen until episode 135 and presumably episode 136 air on April 24 and May 1st, respectively. Once they do, I will of course review them eventually, so please stay tuned for that. Also, please do let me know your thoughts down below. Are you excited for the climax of the final battle? Will Spinel survive? What else do you think will happen that is surprising, like Mega Zygarde? What are you hoping will happen? And will Liko and company finally rid the world of Laquium? If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, feel free to click the links on screen. And if you'd like to support the channel and help me keep making content like this, you can find all the ways to do so in the description and in the pinned comment. Whether it's through a small donation or just watching and sharing, every bit of support means the world to me. Thank you so very much for watching, and let's meet again in the next video.